All right, David McKinney here from GatewayMMA.com, and I'm in with a very special guest today, Doug St. Pierre, also known as Doug Risher. He is the co-host of Mixed Martial Arts every Saturday morning on QFM 96 in Columbus, and he will be making his MMA debut tomorrow night at the Amateur MMA Festival in Columbus. So first off, how you doing, Doug? How's the last-minute preparations and everything coming?
Oh, good, David. I just got a couple pounds to cut. Shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to be hitting the sauna and getting ready for it. I feel strong and ready to go.
Right. So I've known you probably about 6 months, maybe a little bit more than that now, and I kind of know your background. But tell me a little bit about how the idea for you to fight came about, and how you got hooked up with the fight so quickly.
I did martial arts my whole life, and I always wanted to break into MMA. I got busy with work and everything, and when we started doing this show on QFM 96 with the Mixed Martial Arts radio show, and started meeting a lot of local gyms and a lot of the guys that train, and they were like, hey, let's get you in a fight, man. So one thing led to another, and now here we are. So it just, kind of spurred from the show, and, opened the doors to all these different guys at these MMA gyms, and just kind of happened like that.
Right, and you mentioned the martial arts background. I know that you're a black belt in Taekwondo, but you've actually made an interesting choice in where you're going to train. You're going to train at Buckeye MMA, which is a gym that's very well known for their wrestling. Actually, most of the gyms in Ohio are. But just is that what you're planning on doing, or how do you plan on using your Taekwondo and MMA and incorporating that with the wrestling and everything else you've been learning at Buckeye?
Well, with the Taekwondo background, at first it was kind of hindering, what I was doing. It's a lot different than the MMA, but, obviously, having that kind of background, I have pretty strong leg kicks, I'm pretty quick on my feet with my hands. I wanted to go to Buckeye. I've known Josh Williams for a while now, and I knew they were big into the wrestling, which I have very little experience in, so I knew that was a big important thing. And wrestling is pretty much a fundamental of MMA, so I thought if I went there, I could learn some basic skills, get some fundamentals down, and kind of, make my game a little bit more well-rounded. And I feel great about it. They've done a great job. Josh Williams has helped me out a ton, and I don't know if there's a better place around to go to get you ready for a fight, because these guys put you to the ringer.
Right, and I know your opponent for the fight is a guy, Michael Luce, a guy out of Pennsylvania who nobody really seems to know anything about other than that he's from Pennsylvania and kind of is a self-taught guy. At this level, are you more worried about just making sure that you're prepared, more than sort of game planning for your opponent, or would you like to know a little bit more about your opponent?
Well, at this stage of my, fighting so-called career, it's good to know anything about the person just so you can kind of work on things that they obviously are strong at. But since we don't have any information other than his height and his weight and where he's coming from, it makes it hard to have a game plan. So I'm just kind of be as prepared as I possibly can, stay strong, and, kind of work on all the basic fundamentals so I can kind of defend off anything that he's going to try to throw at me. I was scheduled to fight somebody else. He got deployed, and they threw this Michael Luce at me. And like you said, we don't really know anything about him. But, it'd still be the same game plan from me. I'm real inexperienced, but I'm going to go in there and just give it my all and hopefully come out with my hand raise. Right,
and I heard another interview where you were talking about, you don't know whether you're going to fight more or not. At this point, it's probably a one-time deal. But you certainly wouldn't be the first person who got in it for one fight and then sort of made a career out of it or kept doing it. Obviously, I'm sure that, if given the opportunity, you'd like to fight again or at least keep training. Is that the plan right now, or are you going to just stop training after this fight?
Well, not to sound cliche, but, like every person that's about to fight says, I just want to get through this fight. But honestly, it's become kind of an addiction. Obviously, I've always loved the MMA. Obviously, doing a radio show about it, you can obviously see that I'm pretty much into it. But, getting the hands-on experience has made it like a whole new level of interest. It sparked like a kind of an obsession with me now. The training is definitely awesome. It's a lot of hard work, but the more and more I learn, the better I understand it. So it's kind of a win-win situation for me. And I would like to keep continuing to train. I would like to fight again. prepare for the next fight. That way I could feel like I got a little bit more training under my belt.
Right, and obviously you're on the radio, so you're going to have a little different, you know, I don't know necessarily if you want to call them perks or not, but how has being on the radio sort of affected, you know, your foray into MMA?
Well, you know, it's obviously, you know, made it easy for me to transition into it, knowing, you know, a lot of the guys around here, you know, getting me started, probably have a little bit of an easier time than most guys just starting off. But it's also sparked a lot of pressure at the same time. You know, there's a lot of people that are, you know, expecting me to win or this or that. So at the same time, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, if I was just doing this on my own and, you know, and I lost or won, you know, it's just on me. But, you know, since the radio's behind it in our show and then we got sponsors and there's a little bit more added pressure than I'd like to have on my first fight. But, you know, it's also more motivation at the same time. So, like you were saying, though, you know, it has been a little easier for me to get all this stuff taken care of, get into a respectable gym and, you know, get some face time with, you know, these guys that have been doing it for a long time. I mean, I'm going to have Dan Spahn in my corner. He just got signed with Bellator, so, I mean, that would never have happened if I wasn't doing this radio thing. So, some perks are definitely there.
Right, and you know, you mentioned the sponsors, and I know a lot of people have taken care of you. I know you probably want to plug. You have a really, really awesome walkout shirt from some guys who are our friends as well at the Ultimate Wrestler, and a really cool deal there with the walkout tee.
Definitely, I mean, it came out amazing. They did such a good job. You can check it out at theultimatewrestler.com, or you can buy it the day of the fight. I think they're $20 or $25, but they look amazing, and you know, they fit great, and they're comfortable, and they do an amazing job over there. Not just with my shirt, but they've got some great stuff. Just check them out, theultimatewrestler.com.
All right, man. That's all I have for you today. I just wanted to wish you good luck, and if there's anything else you want to mention before we get out of here, feel free to do so. And if not, good luck tomorrow, and I'll be seeing you soon.
All right, thanks, David, and just remember to check out our show as well on QFM 96 Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. David's on all the time, so check it out, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Doug.